drifting now, drifting back through time. Back to an age when the world was younger, when mountains rose taller and the sky stretched wider, when gods walked among the clouds and shaped the very bones of the earth. You are traveling to the beginning of a story of power and destiny, story of a child hidden in secret, a child who would one day become king. Close your eyes and let yourself drift back to the island of Crete, to a cave nestled deep within a sacred mountain, to the moment when everything changed. Long ago, before Zeus ruled the heavens, another god sat upon the throne. His name was Kronos. Kronos was a titan born of the earth and sky. He was mighty and strong, but he was also afraid. A prophecy had been whispered to him in the darkness, a prophecy that warned him of his own downfall. It said that one of his children would rise against him. One of his children would take his throne, and so Kronos made a terrible choice. A choice born of fear and desperation. Whenever his wife, Rhea, gave birth to a child, Kronos would take the infant. He would swallow the child whole. One by one, he consumed them. First came Hestia, goddess of the hearth. Then Demeter, who would one day bring forth the harvest. Then Hera, radiant and proud. Then Hades, silent and solemn. Then Poseidon, wild as the ocean waves. Each child disappeared into the darkness of their father's belly. Each child was trapped, waiting, somewhere between life and shadow. Rhea's heart broke with every loss. She wept for her children. She pleaded with Kronos to stop. But fear ruled him, and he would not listen. When Rhea learned she was with child once more, she knew she could not let this happen again. She would not lose another child to her husband's terror. She made a plan, a secret plan, whispered only to the earth herself. When the time came for the child to be born, Rhea traveled far from Kronos' watchful eyes. She journeyed to the island of Crete, where the mountains touched the sky. There, in a hidden cave on Mount Ida, she gave birth. The child was a boy, strong and glowing with a quiet light. She held him close and whispered his name, Zeus. She named him Zeus, and she knew he would be different. She knew he carried the weight of prophecy in his tiny hands. But first, he had to survive. Rhea wrapped the infant gently in soft cloth. She kissed his forehead. Then she placed him in the care of the mountain nymphs who lived within the cave. These nymphs were ancient spirits, kind and gentle. They promised to protect the child, to keep him hidden, to raise him in secret until the time was right. Rhea took a large stone from the cave floor. She wrapped it in swaddling clothes, just as she had wrapped her son. Then she returned to Kronos. She presented the stone to him, saying it was their newborn child. Kronos, blinded by his fear and haste, did not look closely. He took the bundle and swallowed it whole. He believed he had stopped the prophecy once again. But Zeus was safe, hidden far away, cradled in the arms of the mountain. The cave where Zeus lay was a sacred place. Its walls shimmered with moisture. Stalactites hung from the ceiling like frozen tears. The air was cool and soft, filled with the scent of earth and stone. Outside, the wind whispered through the trees. Birds sang gentle songs that echoed through the valley. The nymphs who cared for Zeus were called the Meliae. They were born from the ash trees, daughters of the earth. They moved with grace, their voices like flowing water. They sang to Zeus as he slept. They told him stories of the stars and the turning of the seasons. They kept him warm and safe. But Zeus needed nourishment, and so a creature came to care for him, a goat named Amalthea. She was no ordinary goat. Her coat was white as moonlight. Her eyes were soft and wise. She had been chosen by the earth itself to nourish the future king. Each day, Amalthea would come to the cave. She would lie down beside the infant Zeus, and he would drink her milk, rich and sweet. It filled him with strength. It gave him warmth and life. As he grew, so did his power. Even as a baby, there was something extraordinary about him. His laughter seemed to brighten the cave. His eyes held a spark of lightning. The bees of the mountain brought him honey. They came in golden swarms, gentle and protective. They fed him sweetness from the wild flowers that bloomed on the slopes. The nymphs danced around him. They clapped their hands and made music, not just to entertain the child, but to mask his cries. For if Kronos ever heard the sound of a baby's voice, he would come searching. And so they filled the air with sound, with singing and drumming, with the clanging of bronze shields struck together in rhythm. The warriors of Crete, called the Curetes, joined in this task. They danced around the cave, their shields ringing like bells. Their noise became a kind of protection, a wall of sound to keep Zeus hidden from the world. And so the child grew. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months, months to years. Zeus learned to crawl, then to walk, then to run. He explored the cave, touching the cold stone walls with wonder. He ventured outside, feeling the grass beneath his feet. He climbed the rocks and looked up at the sky that would one day belong to him. He did not yet know his destiny. He did not yet know who his father was, or what had been done to his brothers and sisters, but something inside him understood, something ancient and powerful, a knowing that lived in his bones. The animals of the mountain came to him. They were not afraid. Deer would approach and let him touch their soft fur. Eagles circled overhead, watching him with keen eyes. Even the wild wolves kept their distance, but observed him with respect. The earth itself seemed to recognize him. When he placed his hand upon the ground, flowers would bloom. When he laughed, the wind would rise and carry his joy across the valley. Amalthea stayed by his side always. She was more than a nurse. She was his guardian, his companion, his friend. Zeus would rest his head against her warm side and listen to the beating of her heart. Hades was steady and strong. It reminded him that he was loved, that he was not alone. The nymphs told him stories of the gods who came before, of Uranus, the sky, and Gaia, the earth, of the Titans who were born from their union. They spoke carefully, gently, never mentioning Kronos by name. But Zeus listened. He learned. He began to understand that the world was larger than this cave, that there were forces at play beyond the mountain, that he had a role in something vast and important. At night, when the stars appeared, Zeus would lie on his back and stare at the heavens. The constellations turned slowly above him. The moon rose and set, marking the passage of time. He felt a pull toward the sky, a longing he could not name. It was as if the sky itself was calling to him, whispering his true name, telling him to be patient, to grow strong, to wait for the moment when everything would change. And so he waited. He grew taller, his limbs strong and sure. His hair darkened like a storm cloud. His voice deepened. The light in his eyes grew brighter. The nymphs watched him with a mixture of pride and sadness. They knew he would not stay with them forever. They knew the day would come when he would leave the safety of the cave, when he would step into the world and claim his birthright. But for now, he was still their child, their hidden prince, their secret hope, and they cherished every moment. They wove garlands of flowers for his hair. They taught him the names of the plants and trees. They showed him how to listen to the language of the wind, how to read the signs in the flight of birds, how to move through the forest without making a sound. Zeus absorbed it all. Every lesson, every story, every song. He was learning to be more than a boy. He was learning to be a god. And deep within him, a fire was beginning to burn. A fire that would one day become lightning. A fire that would shake the heavens and remake the world. But tonight, as you listen to this story, that fire is still gentle, still quiet. Zeus is still a child, resting in the safety of the cave. Amalthea lies beside him, her breathing slow and peaceful. The nymphs hum a lullaby, soft as falling rain. The stars shine down through the opening in the cave, and everything is still. everything is calm. Zeus sleeps, and in his sleep, he dreams. He dreams of clouds and thunder, of a throne made of lightning, of a sky that stretches forever. He does not yet understand these dreams, but he will in time. He will understand everything. For now, rest. Rest as Zeus rests, safe and hidden, cradled by the mountain, watched over by the earth. The story is just beginning, but there is no hurry. Let yourself drift. Let yourself float on the edges of this ancient tale. The cave is quiet. Night is deep, and you are safe, just as Zeus was safe. Breathing slowly, sinking softly into the stillness, into sleep. You are drifting deeper now, deeper into the story. Time moves differently here, in this ancient world. Years pass like gentle waves, one season flowing into the next. Zeus is no longer a child. He has grown tall and strong. His shoulders are broad, his movements graceful. His voice carries the rumble of distant thunder, but he still lives in the hidden places of Crete. Still walks the mountain paths, still drinks from the clear streams that run down from the peaks. The nymphs have taught him well. He knows the ways of the wild. He can move through the forest like a shadow. He can read the sky and predict the coming storms. But there is something he does not know, something the nymphs have kept from him. A truth that weighs heavy on their hearts. Zeus senses this. He has always been observant, even as a small child. Now, as a young man, he notices the way the nymphs sometimes fall silent, the way they exchange glances when he asks about his family, the way they change the subject when he wonders aloud about his father. He knows they are protecting him, but for me, what? One evening, as the sun sets behind the mountains, Zeus sits alone on a high cliff. The sky is painted in shades of rose and gold. The air is cooling, gentle against his skin. He looks out over the island, over the endless sea beyond, and he feels it again. That pull, that longing, the sense that he is meant for something more, something vast and important. A voice speaks behind him, soft, familiar. It is one of the nymphs, the eldest, named Adrastea. She has been like a mother to him all these years. She sits beside him on the stone. For a long moment, neither of them speaks. They simply watch the sun disappear below the horizon. Then Adrastea begins to talk. Her voice is gentle, careful. She tells him that the time has come. The time for him to know the truth. Zeus turns to her, his eyes searching hers, and she tells him everything. She tells him about Kronos, the Titan king. She tells him about the prophecy that haunted his father, about the terrible fear that drove Kronos to commit unspeakable acts. She tells him about his brothers and sisters, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, all of them swallowed, trapped inside their father's belly, alive but imprisoned, waiting in darkness. She tells him that his mother, Rhea, sacrificed her own safety to save him, that she tricked Kronos with a stone wrapped in cloth, that she hid Zeus away so that one day he might fulfill the prophecy. that one day he might free his siblings and end Kronos' reign. Zeus listens in silence. His jaw tightens, his hands curl into fists, but his eyes remain calm, focused. He is not shocked, not truly. Some part of him has always known. Some part of him has been preparing for this moment his entire life. When Adrastea finishes speaking, Zeus stands. He looks up at the darkening sky. The first stars are beginning to appear. He takes a deep breath, then he speaks, his voice steady and sure. He says he understands now. He understands why he was hidden, why he was raised in secret, why he has always felt this restless energy inside him. He says he knows what he must do. He must go to his father. He must free his siblings. He must fulfill the prophecy, but he does not speak with anger or vengeance in his voice. He speaks with purpose, with clarity, with the quiet determination of someone who has found their calling. Adrastea places a hand on his shoulder. She tells him he is ready, that he has always been ready, but she also warns him. Kronos is powerful. He has ruled for ages. He will not give up his throne easily. Zeus will need help. Zeus will need wisdom, and so she tells him of someone he must seek. A titaness named Metis. Metis is the daughter of Oceanus, the great river that circles the world. She is known for her intelligence, her cunning, her deep understanding of all things. Her name means wisdom itself. If anyone can help Zeus find a way to defeat Kronos without bloodshed, it is Metis. Zeus nods slowly. He will find her. He will seek her counsel. But first, he must say goodbye to the only home he has ever known. The next morning, Zeus rises early. The dawn light is soft and golden. He walks through the cave one last time. He touches the walls that sheltered him. He drinks from the spring that gave him water. He stands at the entrance and looks out at the mountain that kept him safe. Amalthea is there, waiting for him. She has grown older now, her white coat streaked with silver, but her eyes are still kind and wise. Zeus kneels before her. He wraps his arms around her neck. He thanks her for everything, for her milk that gave him strength, for her presence that gave him comfort, for her love that made him feel less alone. Amalthea nuzzles him gently. She knows this is goodbye, but she is not sad. She is proud. She has watched him grow from a helpless infant into this strong, purposeful young god. She has done what she was meant to do. Zeus stands and turns to the nymphs. They gather around him, these spirits who raised him. They embrace him one by one. They whisper blessings and prayers. They tell him to be brave, to be wise, to remember what they taught him. Zeus promises he will. He promises he will never forget them, that he will honor them always. Then with one final look back, he walks away, down the mountain path, into the world beyond. His journey takes him far from Crete. He travels across the sea, guided by instinct and divine knowledge. He moves through lands both mortal and immortal, through forests where dryads whisper among the trees, through valleys where rivers sing their endless songs. He asks for Metis wherever he goes, and eventually he finds her. She dwells in a place where the waters meet, where streams and rivers converge into a great pool. The water is crystal clear, reflecting the sky like a mirror. Metis sits at the edge of this pool. She is beautiful, but not in a way that demands attention. Her beauty is subtle, like the surface of still water. Her eyes are gray-green, deep and thoughtful. She looks up as Zeus approaches. She has been expecting him. She gestures for him to sit beside her. Zeus sits, and for a moment, they simply exist together in silence. Then Zeus speaks. He tells her why he has come. He tells her about his siblings, trapped inside Kronos. He tells her that he wants to free them, that he wants to end his father's reign. But he doesn't want to simply wage war. He does not want to become like Kronos, ruling through fear and violence. There must be another way, a better way. Métis listens carefully. When Zeus finishes speaking, she nods slowly. She says she understands. She says she's been thinking about this problem for a long time, waiting for someone brave enough to act, someone wise enough to seek a different path. She tells him there is a way to make Kronos release the children he swallowed. It will require a potion, a mixture of powerful herbs and substances. If Kronos drinks this potion, his body will reject what he has consumed. He will be forced to vomit up everything he has swallowed. The stone that Rhea gave him, and the 5 gods trapped inside him. Zeus leans forward, hope lighting his eyes. Métis continues. She says she can create this potion, but Zeus must be the one to give it to Kronos. He must find a way to approach his father, to gain his trust, even for a moment. It will be dangerous. If Kronos discovers who Zeus truly is, he will try to swallow him too, or worse. But Zeus does not hesitate. He says he will do it. He will do whatever it takes. Métis smiles, a small, knowing smile. She says she thought he would say that. She begins to work. She gathers herbs from the water's edge, roots that grow deep in the earth, flowers that bloom only under the full moon. She mixes them in a stone bowl, murmuring words in an ancient language. The liquid begins to glow faintly, shimmering with an otherworldly light. When the potion is ready, she pours it into a small vial. She hands it to Zeus. Their fingers touch briefly, and something passes between them, a connection, a recognition. They both feel it, though neither speaks of it. Zeus takes the vial and tucks it safely away. Métis tells him to be careful, to be clever, to trust himself. Zeus thanks her. He promises he will return when it is done, that he will tell her how it went. She says she will be waiting. Zeus travels to the realm where Kronos dwells. It is a place of grandeur and shadow, a palace built of dark stone and filled with the weight of ages. Kronos sits upon his throne, massive and imposing. His face is lined with worry. His eyes are constantly shifting, watching, suspicious. Zeus approaches as a stranger, a traveler seeking refuge. He disguises himself, cloaking his divine nature. He presents himself humbly. Kronos, always wary, questions him. But Zeus is clever, just as Métis advised. He tells a story that seems harmless. He offers a gift, a drink of rare wine, he says, something to help the great king relax. Kronos, tired from the endless burden of his fear, accepts. He takes the cup from Zeus's hand. He drinks deeply. At first, nothing happens. Zeus holds his breath. Then Kronos' face contorts. His body begins to shake. He doubles over, clutching his stomach. And then it happens. First comes the stone. The wrapped stone that Rhea gave him so long ago. It falls to the floor with a heavy thud. Then, one by one, the gods emerge. First Poseidon, powerful and wild, gasping as he takes his first free breath in ages. Then Hades, silent and pale, blinking in the sudden light. Then Hera, radiant and furious. Then Demeter, her eyes filled with tears of relief. Then Hestia, calm and steady, the firstborn, the eldest. They are all fully grown. They did not age inside Kronos, but neither did they remain children. They are gods, powerful and whole. For a moment, everyone is still. Kronos stares at his children, horror and realization dawning on his face. The siblings stare back at the father who imprisoned them. Then Zeus steps forward. He removes his disguise. He reveals himself. The youngest child. The one who was supposed to have been swallowed. The one who escaped. Kronos roars in fury and disbelief. But it is too late. His children surround him now. 6 gods, united. 6 gods, free. Zeus speaks, his voice carrying authority for the first time. He tells Kronos that his reign is over, that the prophecy has come to pass, that the time of the Titans is ending, and the age of the Olympians is beginning. Kronos lunges forward, but Poseidon and Hades move to flank their brother. Hera's eyes flash with power. Demeter's hands glow with the energy of the earth. Hestia stands firm, a pillar of strength. They are a force together, unbreakable. Kronos realizes he cannot win this fight. Not now. Not like this. He retreats, vanishing into the shadows. But Zeus knows this is not the end. It is only the beginning. Kronos will not surrender his throne easily. He will gather the other titans. He will wage war. But Zeus is not afraid. He looks at his siblings, these brothers and sisters he has just met. These gods who have been waiting their entire existence for this moment. And he smiles. They are together now. They are free. And together they will face whatever comes next. Poseidon claps Zeus on the shoulder. Grinning, Hades nods with respect. Hera studies him with keen, appraising eyes. Demeter embraces him warmly. Hestia places a gentle hand on his cheek, a gesture of blessing. They leave the dark palace together. They step out into the open air. The sky above them is vast and clear. The stars are shining, and for the first time in their lives, they are truly free. Zeus looks up at the heavens. He feels that pull again, that longing. But now it is mixed with something else. Purpose. Destiny. The knowledge that he is exactly where he is meant to be, not doing exactly what he was born to do. He takes a deep breath. The air tastes sweet. Tomorrow, there will be challenges. Tomorrow, there will be war. But tonight, there is peace. Tonight, there is reunion. Tonight, the prophecy has been fulfilled, and somewhere far away, Medes smiles. She knew he could do it. She knew he would succeed. And she is waiting, just as she promised, waiting for him to return, so she can stand beside him in what comes next. The story continues. The threads of fate are weaving together. But for now, rest. Rest in this moment of victory. This moment of freedom. Let yourself drift on the edges of this ancient tale. The night is calm. The stars are bright, and you are safe. Safe in the knowledge that even in the darkest times, there is hope. That even when all seems lost, there is a way forward. That courage and wisdom combined can overcome any fear. Breathe slowly. Sink softly into the stillness, into sleep. You are drifting still. Drifting through the mists of time. The story unfolds around you like a dream. Like distant thunder rolling across the sky, the gods have been freed. The prophecy has begun to fulfill itself, but the world is not yet at peace. Zeus and his siblings stand together now, 6 gods united in purpose. But they are not alone in the Shea world. The Titans still rule. Kronos has fled to his brothers and sisters. To the other children of Uranus and Gaia. To the ancient ones who have held power since the beginning of time. He tells them what has happened. He tells them about Zeus, about the betrayal as he sees it, about the children who have risen against him. The Titans gather. They are mighty and terrible. Oceanus, the great river encircling the world. Hyperion, the Lord of Light. Iapetus, the piercer, strong and fierce. Thea, radiant and bright. Themis, the embodiment of divine law. Mnemosyne, keeper of memory, and others, each powerful in their own right. They listen to Kronos's plea. Some are sympathetic. Some are angry. Some are simply tired. The world has been the same for so long. Perhaps it is time for change. But loyalty to their own kind runs deep. Blood calls to blood, and so, though some hesitate, most of the Titans choose to stand with Kronos. They will fight to maintain their rule. They will wage war against these upstart gods. These children who dare to challenge the old order. Zeus learns of this gathering. He knows what is coming. War. Inevitable and fast. He calls his siblings together. They meet on a high mountaintop, away from prying eyes. The wind is strong here, whipping their hair and clothes, but they stand firm. Zeus speaks to them. His voice is calm, but there is power beneath it. He tells them that the Titans will come, that Kronos will not rest until he has reclaimed his throne, that they must prepare. They must be ready to fight. But more than that, they must be ready to build something new, something better than what came before. Poseidon's eyes flash with the wildness of the sea. He says he is ready. He has been trapped in darkness for too long. He will not go back. Hades, quiet and thoughtful, agrees. He says they have no choice. They must stand together or fall separately. Hera lifts her chin, proud and regal. She says they will not fall. They are stronger than Kronos knows. They are the future. Demeter places her hand on the earth. She says the world itself will aid them, that the earth is tired of Kronos's fear and violence, that nature will respond to their call. Hestia, the eldest, speaks last. Her voice is gentle but firm. She says they must remember why they fight. Not for power, not for revenge, but for the chance to create a better world, a world of balance and justice. Zeus nods. He is grateful for his siblings, for their strength and their wisdom. But he knows they will need more than just the 6 of them. They will need allies. He thinks of Métis, of her wisdom and counsel. He sends word to her. She comes quickly. When she arrives, she brings news. She tells them that not all Titans support Kronos. Some are weary of his rule. Some see the justice in Zeus's cause. She tells them of Prometheus. Prometheus is a Titan, but different from the others. His name means forethought. He can see into the future, glimpse the shape of things to come, and he has seen that Zeus will win. Something to add. The age of Titans is ending. He wants to be on the right side of history. He comes to Zeus and offers his allegiance. With him comes his brother, Epimetheus. Epimetheus means afterthought. He is not as clever as Prometheus, but he is loyal and kind. Together they join Zeus's cause. Prometheus brings something else, too. Knowledge. He tells Zeus about the Cyclopes. 3 brothers, giants with a single eye in the center of their foreheads. They are master craftsmen, skilled beyond measure. They were imprisoned long ago by Uranus, cast into the depths of the earth. Later, Kronos freed them, but only to use them. He kept them chained, forced them to work for him, then, fearing their power, he imprisoned them again. Deep in Tartarus, the darkest pit beneath the world. Prometheus says if Zeus frees them, they will be grateful. They will forge weapons for the gods. Weapons unlike any the world has seen. Zeus listens carefully. He knows this is what they need. He must journey to Tartarus. Tartarus. He must free the Cyclopes. It is a dangerous task. Tartarus is guarded. It is a place of shadow and suffering. But Zeus does not hesitate. He takes Hades with him, for Hades understands darkness, and Poseidon, for its strength will be needed. Together the three brothers descend, down, down through layers of earth and stone, past the realm of the living, past the realm of the dead, into the deepest darkness. The air grows thick and heavy. The light fades until there is nothing but shadow. But Zeus creates light. A soft glow emanates from his hand. It is faint, but it is enough. They find the Cyclopes chained to the walls of their prison. Brontes, Steropes, and Arches, thunder, lightning, and brightness. They are massive, these beings. Their single eyes glow in the darkness. They look up as the gods approach. Zeus speaks to them. Tells them who he is. He tells them he has come to free them. He asks only that they help him in return, that they use their skills to aid the fight against Kronos. The Cyclopes study him. They have been betrayed, force, promised freedom, only to be enslaved again. But there is something in Zeus's eyes, something honest, something true. Brontes, the eldest, speaks. His voice is like rolling thunder. He says they will help, but only if Zeus proves his intent, only if he breaks their chains himself. Zeus steps forward. He raises his hand. Power flows through him. Power he is only beginning to understand. He strikes the chains. They shatter. One by one, the Cyclopes are freed. They stand, stretching limbs that have been bound for ages. They look at Zeus with gratitude, with respect. Brontes bows his head. He says they will forge weapons for the gods, weapons worthy of those who will rule the heavens. They return to the surface. The Cyclopes set to work immediately. They build a great forge in the heart of a volcano. The heat is immense, but they are used to working in fire. They hammer and shape. They sing as they work, ancient songs of creation. For Zeus, they forge the thunderbolt, a weapon of pure lightning. It crackles with energy, bright and terrible. When Zeus holds it, power surges through him. The sky responds to his will. He feels the storm inside him awaken fully. For Poseidon, they forge a trident. 3 prongs, sharp and true. When Poseidon strikes it upon the ground, the earth trembles. When he thrusts it into the sea, the waves obey him. For Hades, they forge a helmet, a helm of darkness. When Hades wears it, he becomes invisible. He can move unseen, a shadow among shadows. The three brothers stand together, armed and ready. They are formidable now, no longer just escaped children. They are warriors. They are gods coming into their full power. Time has come. The Titans have gathered their forces. They march across the world, shaking the earth with their footsteps. The gods meet them on the plains of Thessaly, a vast open land where the battle can be waged. The two armies face each other. On one side, the Titans, ancient, powerful, led by Kronos. On the other side, the Olympians, young, fierce, led by Zeus. The sky darkens. Storm clouds gather overhead, summoned by Zeus's presence. The ground trembles as Poseidon strikes his trident. Thunder rolls in the distance. For a moment, everything is still. Then Kronos raises his weapon. He lets out a roar that shakes the mountains, and the war begins. But this is not a battle to be described in detail. This is not a story of blood and violence. This is a tale for sleeping, for drifting, and so the war comes to you like a dream, like distant images, softened by time. You see flashes of light across the sky. You hear the rumble of thunder far away. You feel the trembling of the earth, gentle like a heartbeat. The battle rages for 10 years. But in this story, those years pass like moments, like the turning of seasons, like the phases of the moon. Zeus hurls his thunderbolts. They arc across the sky, brilliant and bright. They strike with the force of 1,000 storms. Poseidon commands the seas. Waves rise up to crash against the Titans. Water becomes a weapon, flowing and fierce. Hades moves unseen. He strikes from the shadows. He spreads fear and confusion among the enemy. Hera fights with strategy and cunning. Demeter calls upon the earth to aid them. Vines wrap around the Titans' feet. The ground shifts beneath them. Hestia tends the sacred fire that gives the gods strength. She is the heart of their camp, the warmth that keeps them going. Prometheus fights alongside them, his foresight guiding their tactics. Epimetheus stands firm, loyal and brave. The Cyclopes continue to forge, creating more weapons, more tools. Slowly, gradually, the tide turns. The Olympians are younger, but they are also more adaptable. They learn quickly. They work together in ways the Titans do not. The Titans are powerful individually, but they are also proud. They do not trust each other fully. Old rivalries surface. Old grudges are remembered. Zeus sees this. He uses it. He is not just a warrior, but a leader. He knows when to strike and when to wait. He knows how to inspire his siblings, how to give them hope when the battle seems endless. And finally, after 10 long years, the moment comes. Zeus stands before Kronos. Father and son face each other. Kronos is wounded, weary. His eyes still hold fear, but now there is also resignation. He knows he has lost. Zeus raises his thunderbolt, but he does not strike to kill. Instead, he speaks. He tells Kronos that this ends now, that the age of fear is over, that the Titans will be imprisoned, but not destroyed. They will be sent to Tartarus, the same place where they once imprisoned others. It is justice, not vengeance. Kronos falls to his knees. Around him, the other Titans surrender. They are bound with chains that cannot be broken. Chains forged by the Cyclopes, unbreakable and eternal. They are led down into Tartarus. The 100-handed ones, the Hecatoncheires, are freed from their own prison. They agree to guard the Titans to ensure they never escape. And so it is done. The war is over. The Titans are defeated. The world is changed. Zeus stands with his siblings on the battlefield. The storm clouds begin to clear. Sunlight breaks through, golden and warm. The earth begins to heal. Flowers bloom where blood was spilled. Grass grows green and soft. The gods look at each other. They are exhausted, but they are also victorious. They have won not just a battle, but the future. Zeus turns his face to the sky. Shinai feels the wind on his skin. He feels the power of the storm still humming in his veins. And he knows that the hardest part is yet to come. Winning the war was one thing. Building a new world is another. But tonight, there is peace. Tonight, there is rest. The gods make camp beneath the stars. They tend to their wounds. They share stories and laughter. They are a family now, forged in battle, bound by more than blood, bound by purpose. And as the night deepens, they sleep, the sleep of the victorious, the sleep of those who have fought for something greater than themselves. You can feel it, that peace, that deep, satisfying exhaustion after great effort. Let it wash over you. Let yourself rest as the gods rest. The serenity eyes, battle is won. The storm has passed, and all is calm, all is still. Breathe deeply. Let your body relax. The war is over. The future awaits. But for now, sleep. Sleep as the gods sleep, safe beneath the stars. Safe in the knowledge that a new day is coming, a better day. A day of hope and possibility. Drift now. Drift into dreams, into the soft darkness, into peace. You are drifting deep. deeper still, deeper into the ancient story. The war has ended. The Titans have fallen. The world is quiet now, recovering. Like the earth after a long storm, everything is fresh and new. The gods gather once more, not on a battlefield this time, but on a peaceful mountaintop. The air is clear and cool. The sky stretches endlessly above them. Zeus stands with his brothers, Poseidon and Hades, who fought beside him through it all. Hera and Demeter and Hestia are there too, and others who have joined them. Metis stands close to Zeus, her presence steady and calm. Prometheus watches with his knowing eyes. The Cyclopes rest nearby, their work complete for now. Everyone understands that something important is about to happen. The world has been won, but now it must be divided. Now it must be organized. Someone must rule the sky. Someone must rule the sea. Someone must rule the hidden places beneath the earth. Zeus looks at his brothers. He loves them both. Poseidon, wild and powerful as the ocean itself. Hades, quiet and thoughtful, comfortable in darkness. They have fought together. They have bled together. They are equals in every way that matters. And so Zeus proposes something fair. He says they should draw lots. Let fate decide who rules where. 3 realms, 3 brothers, each equally important, each equally powerful. Poseidon nods slowly. He respects this approach. He knows Zeus could simply claim the sky for himself. Zeus led them to victory, after all. But Zeus does not demand. He offers choice. Hades agrees as well. Sibshui has always appreciated justice. The idea of letting chance decide appeals to his sense of order, and so they prepare. Metis brings forth 3 lots, 3 tokens, each marked with a symbol. One bears the image of the sky, clouds swirling in endless patterns. One bears the image of the sea, waves cresting and falling. One bears the image of the underworld, deep roots and hidden passages. She places them in a vessel, a bronze urn, ancient and sacred. She mixes them so no one knows which is which. The brothers stand together. For a moment, they simply look at each other. 3 brothers, 3 friends, 3 gods who have shared everything. Now they will each claim their own domain. Zeus reaches in first. He draws a lot. He opens his hand. The sky. The heavens are his, the realm of air and storm, of thunder and lightning. It feels right, somehow, as if the sky has been calling to him all along, as if this was always meant to be. Poseidon reaches in next. He draws his lot. The sea. The oceans and rivers, the depths and the shores, everything touched by water. A smile spreads across Poseidon's face. He is pleased. The sea is vast and wild and free. It matches his spirit perfectly. He can already feel the pull of the waves, the call of the tides. Hades draws the final lot. The underworld, the realm beneath, where the dead go to rest. The hidden kingdom, far from the light of the sun. Some might think this is the lesser realm, the unwanted domain. But Hades does not see it that way. He looks at the symbol in his hand and nods. The underworld needs a ruler, someone steady and fair, someone who understands the weight of responsibility. He will be that ruler. He will bring order to the realm of the dead. He will ensure that every soul is treated justly. The brothers clasp hands. They make a pact. They will rule separately, but as equals. No one will interfere in another's domain without permission. No one will try to seize power from the others. They are brothers first, rulers second, and this bond will not be broken. Zeus looks up at the sky that is now his. He feels it respond to him. The clouds shift and swirl. A breeze rises, circling around him. He can sense every wind, every storm, every bird in flight. The sky is alive with possibility. Poseidon turns toward the distant sea. Even from here, high on the mountain, he can hear it. The rhythm of the waves, the song of the depths. He raises his trident. In the distance, the sea responds. A wave rises higher than the others, as if in greeting. Poseidon laughs, delighted. Hades looks down through the earth beneath his feet. He can feel the weight of stone and soil, the vast emptiness of the caverns below, the rivers that flow in darkness. He does not smile, but there is peace in his expression. He knows his place now. He knows his purpose. With the three realms divided, attention turns to the question of home. Where will the gods dwell? They cannot remain wandering forever. They need a place of their own, a seat of power. Zeus turns his gaze to a mountain, the tallest mountain in all the land. Mount Olympus. It rises like a pillar between earth and heaven. Its peak is often hidden in clouds. Snow covers its summit year-round, pure and white. It is beautiful. It is majestic. It is perfect. Zeus declares that Olympus will be their home. The home of the gods, a place where mortals cannot easily reach, a place between the earth and sky, a bridge between realms. The gods agree. They begin to make their way to Olympus. Journey is not long for beings such as them. They move swiftly, effortlessly. As they climb higher, the air grows thinner and clearer. The view expands in all directions. From the peak of Olympus, they can see everything. The lands stretching out below, the sea sparkling in the distance, the forests and rivers and valleys, the whole world spread out like a tapestry. Here they will build their palaces. Here they will create a new order. The gods set to work, not with mortal hands, but with divine will. Zeus envisions a great hall, a palace of white marble and gold, columns that reach toward the sky. A throne room where he can hold court, where he can receive petitions and make judgments, and it appears as he imagines it. The stone arranges itself. The marble gleams in the sunlight. Gold adorns the edges, catching the light. It is magnificent. Hera claims the space beside Zeus. She creates her own palace, equally grand. Her halls are filled with beauty. Gardens bloom eternal, flowers that never fade. Fountains play with crystalline water. Everything speaks of grace and dignity. Poseidon creates a palace too, though he will not dwell here often. He prefers the sea, but he needs a place on Olympus for gatherings, for councils. His palace has the colors of the ocean, blues and greens and the white of foam. Shells and coral adorn the walls. Hades creates a small dwelling as well. Simple, understated. He will not stay here much. His true home will be below, in his dark kingdom. But this place will serve when he must meet with his siblings. Demeter builds a palace surrounded by fields. Wheat grows golden and tall, swaying in the breeze. Her home smells of harvest and earth. Hestia creates the central hearth. Not a palace, but a sacred fire. A flame that will never go out. It burns at the heart of Olympus. All the gods gather around it. It is the warmth that binds them together, the symbol of home and family. As more gods join the Olympians, more palaces appear. Apollo, god of light and music, creates a temple of golden radiance. Artemis, his sister, builds a grove where the hunt is honored. Athena, born from Zeus's own mind in a burst of divine wisdom, claims a palace of strategy and learning. Ares creates a hall of bronze and iron where weapons line the walls. Aphrodite's palace blooms with beauty, every surface a work of art. Hephaestus builds a great forge where he can craft wonders for the gods. Hermes creates a space of movement and change, never quite the same twice. One by one, the gods of Olympus take their places, each finding their role, each contributing to the whole, and Zeus watches over all of it. He stands at the highest point. He looks out over his realm, The sky stretches infinitely above. The ancient earth spreads below, and here, on Olympus, the gods have found their home. But Zeus knows this is only the sea beginning. Winning the war was one challenge. Building a home was another. Now comes the hardest task of all. Ruling justly. Creating order from chaos. Ensuring that this new age is better than what came before. He thinks of his father, Kronos. Kronos ruled through fear, through control and suspicion. He was so afraid of losing power that he destroyed his own children. Zeus will not be like that. He will rule differently. He will rule with wisdom, with justice, with the understanding that power is not just about strength. It is about responsibility. Métis comes to stand beside him. She does not speak, but her presence is comforting. She has been his guide through so much, his advisor, his friend. Perhaps something more, though neither has spoken of it yet. Zeus turns to her. He asks her what she thinks. How should a king rule? What makes a good leader? Métis considers his questions carefully. She always thinks before she speaks. Finally, she answers. She says a good ruler listens. A good ruler understands that wisdom comes from many sources, that no one, not even a king, knows everything. She says a good ruler must be strong, yes, must be able to protect those in his care. But strength without wisdom is just violence. Power without justice is just tyranny. Zeus must be both strong and wise, both powerful and fair. He must surround himself with good counsel. He must be willing to admit when he is wrong. He must remember that ruling is not about him. It is about those he rules over. The gods, yes, but also the mortals below, the creatures of the earth and sea and sky. Everything is connected. Everything is part of the great balance. Zeus listens to her words. He knows she is right. He knows he has much to learn, but he is willing to learn. That is what sets him apart from Kronos. Kronos thought he knew everything, thought he could control everything. Zeus understands that the world is vast and complex, that he will make mistakes, but he will try to do better. He will try to be worthy of this throne. The sun begins to set. Golden light spills across Olympus. The palaces glow in the fading day. Gods gather around Hestia's hearth. They share food and drink. They tell stories of the war, of the challenges overcome, of the bonds forged in battle. There is laughter here. There is warmth. There is the feeling of family. Not perfect, perhaps. Gods are not perfect, any more than mortals are. But there is love here. There is loyalty. There is the sense that they are building something worthwhile. Zeus sits among his family, his brothers and sisters, his allies and friends. He holds a cup of nectar. He raises it high. He speaks a toast to the future, to the new age, to Olympus, their home, to the sky and sea and earth, to all that was and all that will be. The gods raise their cups, they drink together, and the stars begin to appear overhead. One by one, they emerge, twinkling in the darkening sky. Eternal and beautiful, Zeus looks up at them. He feels at peace. The realms are divided, the home is built, the foundation is laid. Now the real work begins. But tonight, there is rest. Tonight, there is celebration. Tonight, there is the simple joy of being together, of having survived, of having won. You can feel it, that satisfaction, that sense of completion. Let it fill you. Let it soothe you that the gods are home. The world is at peace. Everything is in its proper place. Breathe deeply. Let your muscles relax. Let your thoughts drift. The divisions have been made. The order has been established. All is well. All is kind. Close your eyes and rest. Rest as the gods rest. Content in their new home. Safe beneath the stars. The night is gentle. The air is soft. And sleep comes easily, easily and deeply. Drift now. Drift into dreams, into the peaceful darkness, into rest. You are floating now. Floating gently through the story. Like a leaf carried on a calm stream, the world has found its shape. The realms are divided. The gods have their home. But a kingdom is more than just boundaries and palaces. A kingdom needs structure. It needs purpose. It needs harmony. Zeus understands this. He stands in the great hall of Olympus. Morning light streams through the tall windows. The white marble gleams. Gold catches the sun and glows warmly around him. The gods are gathered, waiting to hear what he will say, waiting to understand their place in this new world. Zeus looks at each of them in turn, these beings who have joined him. Some fought in the war. Some were born after. Some emerged from his own divine essence. Each one powerful, each one important. But power without purpose is chaos, and Zeus will not allow chaos. He begins to speak. His voice is steady and clear. He tells them that they have been given a great gift, the freedom to shape the world. With freedom comes responsibility. Each god must find their role. each must contribute to the balance of all things. The world below is full of life. Mortals are beginning to multiply across the land. They build cities and farms. They sail ships and raise families. They look to the heavens and wonder. They pray. They make offerings. They seek guidance and protection. The gods must answer, not with tyranny, as the Titans did, but with care, with attention, with justice. Zeus begins to assign domains, not as a king dictating to servants, but as a leader recognizing the strengths of those around him. He turns to Apollo first, Apollo, bright and radiant, born of Zeus and Leto, twin to Artemis. Apollo shines with inner light. His presence is warm, illuminating. Zeus names him God of the sun, God of light and truth, God of music and poetry, God of healing and prophecy. Apollo will bring clarity to the world. He will drive the sun across the sky each day. He will inspire mortals to create beauty. He will help them understand themselves through art and music. He will guide them to truth through his oracles. Apollo bows his head in acceptance. He feels the weight of these responsibilities, but he also feels honored. He will serve. Well, Zeus turns to Artemis. Artemis, Apollo's twin sister. Where Apollo is the sun, she is the moon. Where he is the day, she is the night. But she is also the wild places, the forests untouched by mortal hands. The mountains where animals roam free. Zeus names her goddess of the hunt, goddess of the wilderness, protector of young creatures, guardian of maidens. She will watch over the places where mortals do not go. She will ensure that nature remains balanced, that the hunt is conducted with respect, that the wild things are not thoughtlessly destroyed. Artemis smiles, fierce and free. This is what she was meant to do. She belongs to the forest and the moon. She will be their voice, their protector. Zeus turns to Athena. Athena, who emerged from his own head fully grown, born from his thoughts, from his wisdom. She wears armor, carries a shield, but she also holds an olive branch. She is paradox and balance. Zeus names her goddess of wisdom, goddess of strategy and warfare, but not the wild, chaotic warfare of bloodlust. The careful, thoughtful warfare of protection, of defense, of winning through intelligence rather than brute force. Will also be goddess of crafts and skills, of weaving and pottery and all useful arts. She will inspire mortals to think, to plan, to create, to solve problems with their minds, to build civilizations that last. Athena nods solemnly. She understands the weight of wisdom. She will bear it well. Zeus turns to Ares. Ares, his son with Hera Ares, Ares is different from Athena. Where she is strategy, he is passion. Where she is careful thought, he is fierce action. He is the thunder of hooves in battle. So just an easy clash of bronze on bronze. The courage that pushes warriors forward. Zeus names him god of war, god of combat and courage, god of the warriors. Spirit Ares will embody the energy of battle, the strength needed to defend, the fire that burns in the hearts of those who fight. But Zeus also warns him, war must have purpose. Courage must have direction. Strength without wisdom becomes destruction. Ares must remember this. Ares grins, fierce and wild. He understands his role. He will be the force that protects, the power that defends what matters. Zeus turns to Aphrodite. Aphrodite, born from sea foam, born from the old gods, but welcomed by the new. She is beauty itself, but not just surface beauty, the beauty of connection, of love that binds people together. Zeus names her goddess of love, goddess of beauty and desire, goddess of the bonds between souls. She will inspire mortals to seek connection, form families and friendships, to create art and beauty in the world, to remember that life is not just survival, it is also joy and passion and love. Aphrodite smiles, radiant. She knows the power of love. She will wield it wisely. Zeus turns to Hephaestus. Hephaestus, the craftsman, his son, though born with twisted legs. But what Hephaestus lacks in physical perfection, he makes up for in skill. His hands can create anything. He forged Zeus's thunderbolts. He built the palaces of Olympus. He can shape metal like clay. Zeus names him god of the forge, god of fire and metalwork, god of craftsmen and artisans. He will inspire mortals to create tools, to build and invent, to use fire and metal to improve their lives. He will be patron of all who work with their hands, all who transform raw materials into useful things. Hephaestus straightens with pride. He has always felt different, less than the other gods, but Zeus sees his worth. Zeus honors his gifts. He will craft wonders for gods and mortals alike. Zeus turns to Hermes. Hermes, quick and clever, born of Zeus and the nymph Maya. He moves faster than thought. He can travel between realms in an instant. He has a sharp wit and a mischievous smile. Zeus names him messenger of the gods, god of travelers and merchants, god of boundaries and transitions, god of communication and exchange. Hermes will carry messages between Olympus and Earth, between the living and the dead. He will watch over those who journey, who cross from one place to another, who trade and communicate and connect. Hermes laughs, delighted. He loves to move, to travel, to explore. This role suits him perfectly. Zeus turns to Demeter, his sister, kind and gentle. She has always loved the earth, loved the growing things, the cycles of planting and harvest. Zeus names her goddess of agriculture, goddess of grain and harvest, goddess of the season's turn. She will ensure that mortals have food, that the earth produces what they need, that the cycles of growth continue, that spring follows winter year after year. Demeter places her hand over her heart. She accepts this role with gratitude. She will care for the earth and all who depend on it. Zeus turns to Hestia, his eldest sister. The firstborn, the first swallowed, she has always been quiet, steady, the heart of the family. Zeus names her goddess of the hearth, goddess of home and family, goddess of the sacred fire. She will tend the eternal flame at the center of Olympus, and she will also be present in every mortal home, in every fireplace, every gathering place, wherever families come together, wherever warmth and safety are found. There Hestia will be. Hestia smiles softly. This is all she has ever wanted, to be the center that holds things together, the warmth that makes a house a home. Zeus continues, assigning roles to others. Dionysus will be god of wine and celebration, of the joy that comes from harvest and festival, of the ecstasy that breaks through ordinary life. Persephone, when she comes into being, will bridge the worlds, part of the year in the sunlight with her mother, part of the year below with Hades, the living symbol of the season's change. The 9 muses will inspire all forms of art, poetry and history, music and dance, comedy and tragedy, astronomy and sacred hymn. Each muse will guide mortals in their creative pursuits. The fates will measure out each life, spinning the thread, measuring its length, cutting it when the time comes. Even gods must respect the fates. Even Zeus cannot change what they decree. The hours will mark the passage of time, the orderly progression of moments, ensuring that everything happens in its proper season. As Zeus speaks, a picture emerges, a vast, interconnected system. Each god has their place. Each has their responsibility, but none exists in isolation. They are all part of the whole. Apollo's light helps Demeter's crops grow. Artemis's wild places provide game for Hermes' travelers to hunt. Athena's wisdom guides Hephaestus' craftsmanship. Aphrodite's love inspires Apollo's poetry. Everything connects. Everything balances. This is what Zeus envisions, not gods ruling over mortals with arbitrary power, but gods serving a greater purpose, maintaining the harmony of all things. When Zeus finishes speaking, the hall is silent. The gods absorb what they have heard. They understand now. They are not just powerful beings. They are caretakers, guardians, servants of balance. Hera stands. She has been listening carefully. Now she speaks. She says that Zeus has spoken well, that he has shown wisdom beyond his years. But she also says that a king cannot rule alone. A king needs a queen, someone to stand beside him, someone to share the burden of responsibility, someone to offer counsel and support. She looks at Zeus directly. There is challenge in her gaze, but also respect. Zeus looks back at her. He has known this moment would come. Hera is powerful in her own right. She is his sister, yes, but she is also regal, dignified, strong. She understands the weight of leadership. She would make a worthy queen. Zeus considers. He thinks of Métis, who has guided him so far. But Métis is wisdom itself, ever-changing. She is his advisor, his friend. But Hera is something else. Hera is stability. Hera is the embodiment of marriage and partnership, of commitment and loyalty. If Zeus is to be king of the gods, Hera should be his queen. It is fitting. It is right. Zeus stands and approaches Hera. He takes her hand. He says he would be honored if she would rule beside him, not beneath him, but beside him, as equals in this great task. Hera's eyes shine. She accepts, and so they are joined, not just as husband and wife, but as partners in rule. King and Queen of Olympus, the gods celebrate. The union is blessed by all. Hestia's fire burns brighter. Apollo plays music that seems to come from the stars themselves. Aphrodite weaves flowers into Hera's hair. Demeter brings forth the fruits of the earth as a gift. It is a wedding, yes, but it is also a coronation. Hera takes her place on a throne beside Zeus. 2 seats of equal height. 2 rulers, united in purpose. Together they will guide the gods. Together they will watch over the world. As the celebration continues, Zeus steps outside for a moment. He needs air, space to think. He walks to the edge of Olympus. He looks out over the world spread below. The sun is setting, painting the sky in shades of purple and gold. Mortals in their cities are lighting their evening fires. Farmers are bringing in their animals for the night. Ships are returning to harbor. Families are gathering together. Everything peaceful, everything orderly. Zeus has created this order, not through fear, as Kronos did, but through balance, through assigning each god their proper role, through recognizing that power must serve purpose. He thinks about justice. That is his greatest responsibility, to be fair, to listen to all sides, to make judgments that serve the greater good. He establishes laws, not written on stone, but woven into the fabric of reality. Oaths sworn in his name must be kept. Hospitality must be honored. Guests must be treated with respect. The weak must be protected from the strong. Truth must be valued above all. These are Zeus's laws. These are the principles that will guide this new age. Any god or mortal who breaks these laws will answer to him, but he will be fair. He will listen. He will consider context and circumstance. Justice is not simple or easy, but it is necessary. Métis joins him at the edge. She stands quietly beside him for a moment. Then she speaks. She says he has done well, that he has shown the wisdom she knew he possessed, that he has created something good. Zeus turns to her. He thanks her for everything, for her guidance, her counsel, her friendship. She has been with him since the beginning of this journey. She helped him free his siblings. She stood beside him through the war. She advised him as he built this new order. Métis smiles. She says she will always be here, that wisdom is eternal. that he can call on her whenever he needs guidance. Zeus feels grateful. He is king, yes, but he is not alone. He has his queen, Hera, to share the rule. He has Metis to provide counsel. He has his brothers and sisters, each strong in their own way. He has all the gods of Olympus working together, and he has the knowledge that what he has built is good, not perfect. Nothing is perfect. There will be challenges ahead, conflicts and complications. Gods will disagree. Mortals will make mistakes, but there is structure now. There is order. There is a foundation of justice and balance. The night deepens. Stars fill the sky, countless and bright. Zeus can name every constellation. He placed some of them there himself, honoring heroes and marking important events. The stars are like memories, frozen in light, eternal reminders of stories that matter. He breathes deeply. The air is sweet and cool. Somewhere below, a mortal child is being born. Somewhere, an old person is taking their last breath. Somewhere, lovers are meeting for the first time. Somewhere, a farmer is planting seeds. Life continues, the great wheel turns, and Zeus watches over it all, not controlling every detail. That would be impossible and wrong, but maintaining the balance, ensuring that the sun rises each day, that the seasons turn, that justice prevails more often than not, that there is hope. He returns to the great hall. The celebration has softened into quiet conversation. Gods are talking, laughing, sharing stories. Hera sits on her throne, regal and beautiful. She sees Zeus enter and smiles. He takes his place beside her. His hand finds hers. They sit together, king and queen, watching over their family, their kingdom, their world, and there is peace, deep, satisfying peace. The kind that comes from knowing you are where you belong, doing what you are meant to do. The kind that settles into your bones and allows you to rest. You can feel it too, that peace, that sense of everything in its right place. The harmony that Zeus has created, the balance of all things. Let it fill you, let it soothe you. The gods are content. The world is ordered. Justice reigns, and all is well. Breathe slowly. Let your body relax completely. Let the story wash over you like a gentle tide. Zeus sits on his throne. The sky above is clear. The stars shine bright, and everything is exactly as it should be. Perfect in this moment. Peaceful. Still. Let yourself drift. Drift into the calm, into the quiet, into sleep. Deep, restful sleep. Safe and peaceful, surrounded by harmony, surrounded by balance, surrounded by the eternal order of things. Rest now, rest deeply. The story continues softly, but you are safe here, safe in this moment of perfect peace. Let go. Let yourself float into dreams, into darkness, into rest. You are drifting still, drifting through layers of story like clouds. The world is ordered now. The gods have their roles. Zeus sits upon his throne, king of all. Hera beside him, queen and partner. But there are deeper stories yet to tell. Stories of connection, stories of creation, stories of the bonds that make Olympus more than just a place, that make it a living, breathing kingdom. Close your eyes and let yourself sink deeper, deeper into the ancient tale. Zeus has loved before. Before Hera, there was Metis, the first love, the one who guided him when he was young and uncertain. Their bond was deep and true, born of respect and shared purpose. Zeus and Metis would walk together through the gardens of Olympus. They would talk for hours about justice and wisdom, about the nature of power, about how to rule. Well, Metis challenged him. She made him think. She never simply agreed with him because he was king. She spoke truth, even when it was difficult, and Zeus loved her for it. One day, as they sat beneath an ancient olive tree, Metis told him something she was with. Child, Zeus's child. A child born of the king of gods and the embodiment of wisdom itself. Zeus felt joy at this news, but also something else, a whisper of worry, an old memory stirring. He remembered the prophecy that haunted his father, the prophecy that said Kronos would be overthrown by his own child, and he wondered, could the same fate await him? That night, Zeus could not sleep. He walked the halls of his palace, restless. The prophecy weighed on his mind. He did not want to become like his father. He did not want to rule through fear. But what if his child was destined to overthrow him? What if history was doomed to repeat itself? He sought counsel from the fates, the three sisters who spin and measure and cut the threads of life. They told him something that chilled his heart. They said that Metis would bear 2 children. The first would be a daughter of great wisdom. Second would be a son of tremendous power, a son who would indeed overthrow Zeus and take his throne. Zeus stood silent, absorbing this knowledge. He thought of Kronos, who swallowed his children to avoid the prophecy. Kronos, who let fear rule him. Zeus did not want to be like that, but he also did not want to lose his throne, not because he craved power for its own sake, but because he believed in what he was building, in the order he was creating, in the justice he was trying to establish. If he fell, would all of that fall with him? He made a choice. Not the same choice as Kronos, but similar. He went to Metis. He spoke to her gently, calmly. He told her of the prophecy. He told her what the fates had said, and then he did something that has been debated ever since. Some say he tricked her, that he challenged her to a shape-shifting contest, that when she transformed into a drop of water, he swallowed her. Others say she agreed, that she understood the danger, that she chose to become part of him, to merge her wisdom with his being, that she sacrificed her separate existence for the greater good. The truth is lost in the mists of time, but the result is known. Metis became part of Zeus. Her wisdom, her counsel, her knowledge, all of it merged with him. She did not die. Exactly, she became something else. a voice inside him, a presence in his thoughts, the source of his wisdom. Zeus carried her with him always, and he carried her child, the empty daughter that the fates had foretold. Months passed. Zeus ruled from his throne, Hera by his side, but something was changing inside him, and he began to feel strange, a pressure in his head, a pounding like thunder trapped inside his skull. It grew worse day by day, until finally, one morning, the pain was unbearable. Zeus cried out. The gods rushed to him. They found him clutching his head, his face twisted in agony. Hephaestus came forward. He understood pain. He understood the body in ways others did not. He took up a bronze axe. The gods gasped, but Zeus nodded. He knew what had to be done. Hephaestus raised the axe. He brought it down on Zeus's skull. Not to kill, but to open, to release what was trapped inside. The axe struck true, and from Zeus's head burst forth a fully grown goddess. She emerged wearing armor of bronze and silver, a helmet on her head, a shield on her arm, a spear in her hand. Her eyes were gray as storm clouds, bright and fierce and intelligent. She stood before the assembled gods and proclaimed her name, Athena. Athena, born from Zeus's own mind, born from his thoughts, his wisdom, born from Metis, who lived inside him. She was the daughter the fates had promised, the child of wisdom itself. She looked at Zeus. He looked back at her, and both understood. She was his daughter, yes, but she was also something more. She was the manifestation of everything he hoped to be, wise and strong, strategic and fair, powerful but measured. The gods welcomed her. Hephaestus smiled, proud of his role in her birth. Apollo bowed to her, recognizing a kindred spirit of knowledge. Artemis embraced her as a sister. Even Ares, though he would clash with her often, respected her strength. Hera watched from her throne. Her feelings were complex. This child was not born of her. This child came from another love, another time. But she also recognized Athena's worth. Athena had not chosen how she was born, and she was magnificent. Hera nodded slowly, a gesture of acceptance, if not warmth. Athena would have her place on Olympus. Zeus felt relief wash over him. The prophecy spoke of 2 children from Metis. But the second child, the son who would overthrow him, would never be born. Metis was part of him now. There would be no son. The prophecy was broken, not through violence, as Kronos had tried, but through transformation, through change. Zeus had not destroyed his fear. He had incorporated it, made it part of himself, learned from it. He looked at Athena with pride and She met his gaze steadily. She said she would serve Olympus well, that she would be a force for wisdom and justice, that she would help him rule fairly. Zeus smiled. He knew she would. Time passed on Olympus. The gods settled into their roles. Zeus and Hera ruled together. Their relationship was not always easy. They were both strong-willed, both proud, both certain of their own rightness. They argued sometimes. Hera would challenge Zeus's decisions. Zeus would chafe at being questioned. But beneath the conflicts, there was respect. There was partnership. They were bound together by more than marriage. They were bound by duty, by the shared responsibility of ruling. Hera was the goddess of marriage and family. She took this role seriously. She protected the bonds between people. She honored commitment and loyalty. She expected the same from Zeus, and Zeus, though sometimes tempted by others, always returned to her, always recognized her as his queen, his equal, his partner in all things that mattered. They had children together, Ares, the warrior, fierce and passionate. Hebe, goddess of youth, who served nectar to the gods. Aletheia, goddess of childbirth, who helped bring new life into the world. Each child a reflection of their divine parents, each finding their own place in the order of Olympus. Zeus loved his children, not just those born of Hera, but all of them. Athena, born from his mind, Apollo and Artemis, born of Leto, Hermes, born of Maia, Dionysus, who would come later, born of a mortal woman. Each child was precious. Each had gifts to offer the world. Zeus tried to be a better father than Kronos had been. He did not rule his children through fear. He did not try to control their every move. He gave them freedom. He gave them responsibility. He trusted them to find their own way. Sometimes this meant conflict. Gods clashing with each other, pursuing their own goals, making mistakes, but Zeus allowed it. He understood that growth comes through experience, that wisdom is earned, not given. He intervened only when necessary, only when the balance was truly threatened. Otherwise, he let the gods be themselves, let them learn and grow. The bonds of Olympus grew stronger. The gods were not just rulers. They were a family, imperfect, complicated, sometimes frustrating, but a family nonetheless. They gathered often around Hestia's hearth. They shared meals and stories. They celebrated victories and mourned losses. Apollo would play his lyre, filling the halls with music. The muses would sing, their voices blending in perfect harmony. Dionysus would bring wine, and laughter would flow freely. Aphrodite would speak of love, reminding them all of beauty. Athena would tell tales of heroes, inspiring them to greatness. Hermes would share news from his travels, keeping them connected to the wider world. These were the moments Zeus treasured most, not the grand displays of power, not the thunderbolts or the pronouncements from his throne, but the simple moments of connection, the feeling of belonging to something greater than himself. One evening, as the gods gathered, Zeus stood. He raised his cup. He spoke to his family. He thanked them for their service, for their dedication to the balance of all things. He told them he was proud of what they had built together, proud of the order they maintained, proud of the care they showed to mortals and to each other. He said that they were more than gods. They were hope. They were the promise that the world could be better, that justice could prevail, that wisdom could guide strength, that love could bind even the most different souls together. The gods listened in silence. When Zeus finished, Hera stood. She took his hand. She spoke as well. She said that Zeus had proven himself worthy of his throne, not because he was the strongest, though he was strong, not because he was the wisest, though he had wisdom, but because he cared, because he tried, because he was willing to grow and change, because he surrounded himself with others and listened to their counsel, because he understood that a king is only as good as the kingdom he creates. The other gods raised their cups. They drank to Zeus and Hera, to the king and queen of Olympus, to the order they had established, to the balance they maintained, to the future they were building together. Outside, the night was clear. Stars sparkled across the vast expanse of sky. The moon hung full and bright, Artemis's domain. Below, on earth, mortals slept peacefully. They dreamed beneath the watchful eyes of the gods. Protected, guided, part of the great tapestry of existence. Zeus stepped out onto the balcony. Hera joined him. They stood together, looking out over their kingdom. The sky that Zeus ruled stretched forever above. The earth that Demeter blessed spread below. The seas that Poseidon commanded glittered in the moonlight. Everything connected, everything balanced, everything part of the whole. Zeus felt Hera's hand slip into his. He squeezed it gently. She leaned her head against his shoulder. For a moment, they were not king and queen. They were simply two beings who had chosen each other, who had committed to something greater than themselves, who had built a life and a kingdom together. Zeus thought of the journey that had brought him here, from a hidden infant in a cave, to a young god seeking his purpose, to a warrior fighting for freedom, to a king building a new world. He had been afraid sometimes. He had made mistakes. He had struggled with the weight of responsibility, but he had never stopped trying. He had never given up, and now, standing here with Hera beside him, he felt at peace. Not the peace of completion. There would always be more to do, always new challenges to face, but the peace of knowing he was on the right path, that he was doing what he was meant to do, that he was not alone. The wind rose gently, carrying the scent of flowers from Hera's gardens. The stars twinkled overhead, eternal and patient. The world turned slowly, marking time, and Zeus, king of the gods, stood watch. protecting, guiding, maintaining the balance, not through force alone, but through wisdom, through justice, through love, through the bonds that held Olympus together. Bonds of family, bonds of duty, bonds of shared purpose. These were stronger than any chain, more enduring than any stone. They were what made Olympus home, what made the gods more than just powerful beings, what made them worthy of the trust placed in them. You can feel those bonds, that sense of connection, of belonging to something greater. Let it surround you. Let it comfort you. You are part of the great tapestry too, part of the story that continues, connected to everything that came before and everything that will come after, safe in that knowledge, held by those bonds. Breathe deeply. Let your body soften. Let the tension flow away. Zeus watches over the world. Hera stands beside him. The gods gather in warmth and light, and all is well. All is balanced. All is at peace. Drift now. Drift into the stillness, into the quiet, into the deep, soft darkness of sleep. You are safe. You are held. You are home. Rest. Rest deeply. Rest peacefully. The story holds you gently. The night embraces you, and sleep comes softly, softly and completely. Let go. Let yourself float into dreams, into peace, into rest. You are floating now in the deepest part of the story, drifting through the final chapter like a feather on the wind, so gentle, so soft. The story of Zeus is nearly complete, not because his story ends, but because you have traveled through its most important moments. You have seen him born in secret, hidden away to escape his father's fear. You have watched him grow in the care of nymphs and the gentle goat, Amalthea. You have witnessed his awakening, the moment he learned the truth about himself, about his purpose. You have followed him as he freed his siblings, as he faced the Titans in war, as he drew lots with his brothers and claimed the sky. You have seen him build Olympus, establish order, create harmony from chaos. You have watched him love and be loved Métis, who gave him wisdom, Hera, who stands beside him as queen, his children who carry forward his legacy. And now, as the story draws toward its gentle close, you find yourself in the quiet, in the stillness, in the peaceful moments when even gods rest. Zeus sits alone on the highest peak of Olympus. The night is deep and clear. The stars shine with ancient light. Each one a story, each one a memory frozen in time. Zeus comes here sometimes when he needs to think, when he needs to remember, when he needs to simply be without the weight of the crown. Up here, there are no petitions to hear, no judgments to make, no conflicts to resolve. There is only the sky, the endless, eternal sky that is his domain. He breathes deeply. The air is thin and cold, but he does not feel it. He is part of this air, part of this sky. When he exhales, clouds form in the distance. When he thinks of rain, moisture gathers. When his mood darkens, thunder rumbles far away. But tonight, he is calm. And so, the sky is calm too, clear and peaceful, perfect for reflection. Zeus thinks about the nature of storms. He is known for his lightning, for his thunder, for the fierce tempests that shake the world. Mortals pray to him to hold back the floods, to quiet the winds, to let the sun shine through. But Zeus understands something they do not always see. Storms are necessary. They are not just destruction. They are cleansing. They are renewal. The rain that frightens also nourishes. The wind that destroys also scatters seeds. The lightning that strikes also brings nitrogen to the soil. After every storm, the world is changed. Sometimes broken, yes, but also refreshed, ready to begin again. Life is like this too, not just for mortals, but for gods as well. There are storms in the heart, conflicts and challenges, moments of chaos and fear. But after each storm, there is growth. There is learning. There is the possibility of something new. Zeus has weathered many storms. The war with the Titans was a storm. The prophecy about Menes was a storm. His conflicts with Hera, his struggles to rule justly, the weight of responsibility, all storms, but he has emerged from each one changed. Stronger, perhaps, certainly wiser, more aware of his own limitations, more humble before the vast complexity of existence. He thinks of the mortals below. They live such short lives, like mayflies, here and gone in what seems to him like moments. Yet they fill those brief lives with so much. They love deeply, they create beauty, they build civilizations, they tell stories, they seek meaning. Zeus admires them for this, for their courage in the face of mortality. Their determination to matter, even knowing they will pass. He tries to be worthy of their prayers, to answer when they call, when he can, to guide them toward justice, in a way, protect them from the worst of the chaos. But he also lets them struggle, lets them learn, lets them grow through their own storms, because that is how wisdom is earned. That is how strength is forged, not through an easy path, but through challenges overcome. He cannot protect them from everything, should not, even if he could. But he can maintain the balance. He can ensure that the sun rises each day. that the seasons turn, that there is always the possibility of rain after drought, of calm after tempest, of hope after despair. This is his true role, not to control every detail, but to hold the great patterns steady, to be the constant sky above, sometimes storming, sometimes clear, but always there, always watching, always enduring. A sound behind him, soft footsteps on stone. Zeus does not turn. He knows who approaches. Hera settles beside him. She wraps a cloak around her shoulders against the cold, though she, like him, does not truly need it. It is a mortal gesture, a habit of comfort. They sit together in silence for a long while, watching the stars wheel slowly overhead. Finally, Hera speaks. Her voice is soft, almost lost in the vastness of the night. She asks him what he is thinking about. Zeus considers the question, then he answers. He says he is thinking about cycles, about how everything returns. Day follows night, follows day. Summer follows winter, follows summer. Birth, life, death, and birth again. Everything turns, everything comes back around. Even the gods are part of this great cycle. They rose to power when the Titans fell. The Titans rose when the primordial forces gave way. Before that, there was only chaos. And perhaps someday, far in the future, there will be something after the gods, some new order not yet imagined. Zeus says this not with sadness, but with acceptance, with understanding. He is part of the cycle, not above it. His role is to serve his time well, to maintain the balance for as long as he is able, and then, when the time comes, to let go, to trust that what comes next will be right in its own way. Hera listens, then she speaks. She says he has learned much, that he has become the king he was always meant to be, not through power alone, but through wisdom, not through control, but through understanding. She is proud of him, proud to rule beside him, proud of what they have built together. Zeus reaches for her hand. He tells her he could not have done it without her strength and her counsel, without her reminding him again and again that being king means serving others, that power is a responsibility, not a prize. They sit together, hand in hand, king and queen, husband and wife, partners in the great work of maintaining the world. The stars continue their slow dance. Constellations Zeus placed in the sky tell their stories. Orion the hunter, frozen mid-stride. The great bear turning eternally around the pole. stories written in light, permanent and unchanging, yet also moving, part of the great wheel. Zeus finds peace in this paradox. Things can be both eternal and changing, both fixed and flowing, both powerful and vulnerable. He is all of these things, a God, immortal and mighty, but also a being who grows, who learns, who makes mistakes, who loves and fears and hopes, who is, in the end, part of something greater than himself. Night deepens further, the hour between midnight and dawn, the quietest time, when even the animals sleep, when the world holds its breath. Zeus feels his own breath slow to match, sinks into the rhythm of the earth below, the turning of the planet, the pulse of life in the seas and forests and cities, all of it connected, all of it part of the great whole. He is the king of gods, but he is also a servant of balance, a guardian of order, a keeper of the cycles. And in this moment, sitting beneath the stars with Hera beside him, he understands. This is enough. This is everything. Not the power or the glory, but the simple fact of being here, of serving a purpose, of being part of the great story that has no beginning and no end. Only continuation, only the eternal now. Hera's head rests on his shoulder. Her breathing has slowed. Perhaps she sleeps, or perhaps she simply rests. Zeus does not ask. He simply accepts her presence, grateful for it, warmed by it. Below, in the palace, the other gods sleep as well. Athena in her chambers, surrounded by scrolls and plans. Apollo with his lyre beside him, ready for tomorrow's sunrise. Artemis in her wild grove, deer sleeping at her feet, Ares dreaming of honor and courage, Aphrodite wrapped in silken beauty, Hephaestus in his forge, the fires banked low, Hermes, who has just returned from a journey, finally still, Demeter with her hands on the earth, even in sleep, Hestia tending the eternal flame that never goes out, all of them at rest, all of them safe, all of them part of the family Zeus has helped to create, the family that is Olympus, and beyond Olympus, the world, mortals in their beds, dreaming their brief, brilliant dreams, animals in their dens and nests, trees breathing slowly in the darkness, rivers flowing endlessly to the sea itself, rising and falling with the tides Poseidon commands, the underworld below, where Hades watches over the dead with patience and fairness, everything connected, everything part of the pattern, everything held in balance by the gods, and the gods held in balance by Zeus, held in balance by the universe itself, by the fates and the cycles and the great turning wheel. No one truly in control. everyone part of the dance. This is the secret Zeus has learned. This is the wisdom that came not from me alone, but from experience, from living, from trying and failing and trying again. The secret is not to control, but to flow, not to dominate, but to serve, not to fear the storms, but to accept them as part of the pattern, to be the sky that holds both the tempest and the calm, both the lightning and the gentle rain, both the fierce wind and the soft breeze, to contain multitudes, to embrace contradiction, to simply be fully and completely. Zeus feels sleep beginning to pull at him. Even gods need rest. Even kings must lay down their crowns for a moment. He lets his eyes close. He lets his breathing deepen. He lets himself drift, and as he drifts, he dreams. He dreams of a child in a cave, safe and warm, protected by those who love him. He dreams of a young god, uncertain but brave, learning to be strong. He dreams of a warrior, thunder in his hands, fighting for something worth fighting for. He dreams of a king sitting on a throne, trying his best to rule fairly. He dreams of all the versions of himself, past and future, all existing at once, all part of the great story. And in his dream, he hears a voice, soft and ancient. It might be Medes, still part of him, or it might be the universe itself. The voice says, "You have done well." The voice says, "Rest now." The voice says, "The sky will still be here when you wake." Stars will still shine. The world will still turn. You are part of the eternal pattern. You cannot break it. You do not need to carry it alone. Simply be. Simply rest. Simply trust. Zeus surrenders to sleep, completely and peacefully, knowing that for this moment he can let go. The world will continue without his constant vigilance. The balance will hold, and when he wakes, he will take up his responsibilities again. But for now, he sleeps, as you sleep, as we all sleep, beneath the eternal sky, beneath the patient stars, held by the darkness that is not empty, but full of possibility, full of peace, full of the quiet promise that morning will come. The story of Zeus does not end here. Gods do not have endings, only continuations. Tomorrow he will wake. He will take up his thunderbolt. He will sit on his throne. He will hear petitions and make judgments. He will guide the gods and watch over mortals. He will be Zeus, king of Olympus, ruler of the sky. But tonight is simply a being at rest, at peace with himself and the world, and that is enough, more than enough. That is everything. You are at rest too. Now the story has carried you here, to this place of perfect stillness, where there is nothing to do, nothing to worry about, nothing to solve or fix or change. Only the gentle darkness, only the soft embrace of sleep, only the quiet knowledge that you are safe, that the world continues its turning, that the balance holds, that all is well. Breathe slowly now, so slowly, each breath deeper and slower than the last, sinking down into the softness, down into the peace, down into the deep, dreamless rest. The stars shine above, the earth sleeps below, and you float between, held by the story, held by the night, held by the eternal rhythm that has no beginning and no end. Zeus sleeps on his mountain, Hera beside him. Gods at rest in their palace. The world at peace beneath their care, and you sleep too, safe, peaceful, complete. Let go now. Let go of everything. Story is told. The journey is complete. There is nothing left but sleep. Deep, perfect, restful sleep. Drift away. Drift into dreams, or drift into nothing at all. Into the soft darkness. Into the gentle silence. Into peace. Sleep now. Sleep deeply. Sleep well. The sky watches over you. The stars keep their vigil. And all is well. All is well. All is well. Sleep